Welcome to the course Digital Storytelling. My name is Luka Piškorec. So here, it's kind of same thing, but this is the original photograph. But here I did already a little bit of cutting because life is short. So there's an original photograph that looks like this. This is again from Unsplash. This is actually quite dark, but it doesn't really matter. I forgot the name of the street, but I guess you all know it. And what I did here, I kind of cut out the background, or so I kind of cut out this sky and just left the street, and here you can see it. Yeah, and this you can do again. It's not really that hard. It just takes a bit of time to select kind of all the pixels. Actually, even in this picture here, maybe the quickest way, I forgot actually already how I did it, but maybe with this magic wand you can kind of start selecting, or like this, and something like this. So because the background is, or the sky is a little bit lighter than the streets, and then you would go into the mask mode, and then you would here also. Yeah, and then you would kind of start correcting, or you would start to kind of clean up the lines, and yeah, kind of sort of, what would you do here? Here you would just take a eraser here and hardness. Yeah, it's fine. And then you start kind of deleting these red bars, or so everything that is. Well, you could just choose. Of course, here we will basically be selecting. We'll be selecting the sky, and then we can just invert this selection. So it's actually easier here to select the sky and then do the inverse. So we can go here and select inverse. We do it in the other mode. Okay, so we could flip the selection because it's somehow easier to select the sky than the other way around. Okay, so then you would clean up all the edges, and when you do that, then you can I can go select inverse, and you get all the rest. Copy paste, and then the sky kind of disappears, except that of course here we didn't really clean it up, but you could of course also just clean up from here. So you have now the cutout, and you have the eraser, and then you would go on and erase more, but now there's a lamp. Okay, maybe you leave the lamp, and so on. So that's also what kind of makes your cutouts look more realistic. If you really take effort to kind of say, no, the lamp has to be in front, and we leave the lamp because it will add additional realism to the photo later, because we are, just say this version 2, it will add additional realism because, there's things that happen in the background and in the foreground as well. So these kind of very, very small details, they make the picture look more realistic. Okay, but as I said, I already did this before. So I'll just go to the original cutout. Okay, here, so this layer 1, I'll just delete layer, original photograph, and this is actually the street. Okay, so here I took effort to sort of select these lines that are kind of in front, the lamp. There's another lamp, I think, here on the top. So that's kind of nice. And yeah, I mean, now, of course, you could kind of, if I have this original photograph, I can start, one adjustment that I could do, let me actually just do this, duplicate layer, original photograph, colored, so I can kind of start doing some tricks. So this one is maybe off. I can start again changing the color of this photograph, or so here in the adjustments, Hue Saturation, colorize, I go to red, or maybe blue, or maybe red in this case, increase the saturation, and so I can kind of start making adjustments directly. Of course, here I'm making it directly on the sky, because I have the foreground that is original, and with this background or the sky, I can do whatever I want. So that's one thing. But again, this is not really what we want, so I'll just delete it from here. I wanted to show you, so if I go in my amazing materials here, New York, and yeah, let's try to kind of add something from here. So let's try to change the skyline. So we have the Helsinki Cathedral here, but let's try to add something else. So we need, as this is on the hill, we need something where a picture where we look kind of from the bottom, and not to kind of dwell too much here. I already had a look before, so there's kind of tons of cool photographs here, but I decided before, maybe this, I actually forgot the name of this building, but it's the Triangle Building in New York, a famous one.
Flatiron Building.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, everybody knows the building. It's just that we, yeah, everybody is familiar with it. It's just that we, yeah, there's, okay. And I noticed here we have an issue with, there's a bit of this weird, well, maybe we ignore these leaves here because I'm not sure if these leaves will fit in here. Okay, so one way that you can cut out this building is, again, because there is a very nice edge, you can again go here under Object Selection Tool. This will probably work, but let's see what kind of result it gives us. Okay, Quick Mask. Okay, it actually does a pretty decent job. Okay, yeah, because of course the kind of edge is really sharp here, and then yeah, kind of here we would have to sort of decide what to do with these guys here. But I'm actually just going to leave them as they are. So I can just kind of yeah, I can just go Control C. So to copy, go here and paste. And if I put it underneath, here it is. Okay, so that's a bit kind of a bit violent, but oh man, I'll just call it the Triangle Building. I apologize. Okay, Triangle Building. Okay, it's here. And yeah, also the original photograph on the bottom, we can just kind of remove. And now I'm already kind of creating some kind of illusion. Here, this is part. I actually wonder if I can delete this content aware. Let's actually try to do that. Let's see if Photoshop is smart enough. So I can go here, use this patch. I really don't know if it will work, but there is a spot healing brush tool, Okay, let's see what this healing does. Okay, so Photoshop also gives us an option to sort of correct like small mistakes. If you, for example, have a face, then you can kind of remove, you know, certain small kind of, you can do small corrections on maybe, you know, textures and tones. This one doesn't work so well because, yeah, okay. So here you can somehow cannot really do it that well. Just see one last try with this patch tool. So I'll just select it here. Patch tool, let's see, and we move it. Where do we move it? We move it maybe here. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, no way. Okay, so you would need to find a way to kind of remove this if this kind of bothers you, but for now I will just leave it as it is. Okay, and yeah, I mean, this is already kind of, it's a bit violent, but so it is. Find maybe a good one. Let's do this one here. Let's do something a bit, so maybe like this, and I'll just kind of scale it a little bit down, and something like this. Something like this. Okay, and I will just straighten it up because I want this to be kind of straighter. So maybe something like this. Perfect, and I can maybe just duplicate it, duplicate layer. Oh, duplicate layer. Triangle Building. This one is right. Going to be right there. So I have left and right again. Just want to do some kind of symmetry. Okay, and this on the right, I will flip it. So image, edit, transform, flip horizontal. Okay, so I get something like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, and you can maybe leave it at that. And I'm just kind of thinking, I'm thinking how to add, just see how it looks like. Yeah, we can now kind of add the sky. I actually forgot about the sky, but let's try to add something. So I can go here under Google. Actually, no, let's go here. Just here in Unsplash, and let's just say sky clouds. Okay, perfect. So, you know, let's kind of find something that looks kind of nice, maybe not too dramatic. So it looks very dramatic. Sky clouds. Okay, maybe this one looks good. Okay, it's quite large. So I will take these guys, put it under my collage here. And yeah, let's go here. This one we turn off. Okay, this one is, I think, quite big, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and here just, so I maybe didn't see it, I kind of copy pasted it, or there was edit kind of copy. I just did it with Control C, and then Control V is just pasting it back. Okay, here I'll just call it sky. And yeah, let's go all the way back somewhere here. Of course, this is not really that, again, it is for sure not realistic, but let's try to work a little bit on that. So you can do something like this. Yeah, I think you should maybe not do sky like this, but yeah, for sure, not so good. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, okay. Maybe not the most successful example that I could do. The problem is, of course, that the problem, of course, actually this sky is not so good because it's we need something that is a bit more. We need a bit more. We need something that is a bit closer to the horizon. So a view that is not toward the top, but something that is closer to the horizon. So there you have to be really, really careful how you do things. This is.
I think it's also a bit foggy there. So
yeah.
the blue sky and the street lamp that was on, that looks
yeah, true.
really not too realistic also.
Yeah, true. So we have colors and we have some other things as well. So basically, I'll try to adjust. I'll try to adjust things a little bit so that they look a little bit more uniform. And yeah, this is now kind of the art of photoshopping, of course. Okay, so let's take this thing. It's a bit more realistic. So we need really something that is maybe a bit closer to the horizon. So somewhere here. Copy this one we don't need. This one we can take off, and yeah, the sky here we'll delete it and paste another sky. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, don't be too dramatic with this sky, because it's very, very easy to kind of overdo it. Of course, yeah, it's very, very easy to overdo it, especially because this is, of course, viewed toward the north. So there's no sun there. Okay. But, you know, something like this. And let me actually show you a few other tricks. So let's say we want to create kind of a little bit fog toward up. And then we will try to also adjust colors just before we go. We'll try to adjust the colors a little bit of sort of everything. So let's try to add a little bit of sort of fog toward the top. So this we can do. If I go here, I can just say new layer. I can just call it fog. Let's see if it works. And what is the fog? Fog is basically just somehow maybe toward the top. I just want it to be white, or I want it kind of to sort of blend out. And let me just think a little bit how to do this. Okay, the fog. we'll do it completely white first. So here with the paint bucket, so I have again create a new layer here, new layer, then completely white, goes over everything. Perfect. Now we'll add a mask. Oops. We'll add a mask, and now our mask will be a gradient. Now where's the gradient? Gradient paint bucket, and there's a gradient tool. Okay, so the gradient is black and white, it goes from top to bottom. Okay, something like this, or the opposite, of course. So you can kind of choose a little bit kind of how do you want to do it. And yeah, actually the street has to go on top. Okay, so again, this is a bit it's a bit of you need to kind of stretch your imagination a little bit, but yeah, something of that sort. Maybe the top kind of sort of disappears. Now let's go here under the sky. So the sky, again, I can go under image adjustments, hue saturation. Let's kind of adjust this a little bit. So for sure, a little bit less saturation. So blue is okay, but maybe not that blue. So I'm reducing the saturation, meaning I'm kind of removing the color from the sky. Can go the opposite way as well. So a little bit lower saturation, and then this is the lightness, or the lightness is kind of just in general globally kind of changing this amount of kind of how white it is or how dark it is. And I know already here that I might want to go a little bit kind of more toward the whiter, something like this, saturation, and yeah, maybe that would be it. Perfect. These triangle buildings, left and right, I will just merge them. Merge layers because I want to have the same settings. So triangle buildings, okay. And there I also want to maybe go under, again, triangle building and adjustments. Well, again, I can maybe go under this adjustment layer here. Where's the adjustment layer? Adjustment layer. Hue saturation, okay, and I make it apply here just to the triangle building, and yeah, let's see, so maybe a bit less saturation, so gets a bit closer to the Helsinki wide, and yeah, it's a bit hard to know what exactly to do, but maybe something like this. Okay, and now just as a final thing, there's the street itself. The street itself, I want to, I can maybe actually just duplicate this, a duplicate layer. I can just call it street original. And this I can maybe just kind of put all the way down. So I want to keep it. This street here, there are a few things that I can do. I can kind of make it a little bit kind of brighter. This we can do with the adjustment layer. Yeah, let's actually try to do that. So adding adjustment layer. Again, a bit hard to know what exactly should we change. Maybe brightness, contrast. Let's see. Apply to the bottom one. Yeah, contrast, contrasts. Yeah, it's somehow not. Yeah, it's a bit of a maybe stronger contrast, higher brightness. Okay, so that's maybe one thing that we can do. This we can kind of maybe adapt a little bit later. There's another filter that we can apply. Let me actually see if I can just add. Oh, no, I cannot add. Okay, there's just another, the final thing that I want to show you. Filter. There are tons of filters here. Also, if you go under filter, go to my street here, filter, there's like blur, distorts, pixelize, sharpen. So there are different things that you can do here. But if I want to add this sort of a Photoshop-like filter, there's this Photoshop filter called Lux. Sorry, it's actually Instagram filter called Lux. Makes the picture look a little bit, I don't know exactly what it does, but it kind of adjusts a bit the tones in a dynamic way. And you can sort of simulate it by going here under sharpen, unsharp mask. And then you need to set the radius. Usually this radius of unsharp is set to very low. You need to go quite high, so maybe 200 or something like that. And then you can change the amount. Also, you can see a little bit what's happening. It's kind of adding a, yeah, it's kind of adding a, you can see here with preview, it's somehow a little bit sharpening the whole image. Yeah, not sharpening, but kind of adjusting it a little bit, making it a bit more contrasty. Okay, maybe we can add that, and maybe we can apply the same thing to triangle buildings. So if I go here, you can just go under filter, unsharp mask, so we just apply the same filter to these ones here, unsharp mask. Okay, it kind of makes them a bit more stick out. Okay, and now again, this is not an amazing, this is not by any stretch of imagination an amazing work, but it is maybe a good try. Or so it is, we are kind of looking at sort of layers, what's in front, what's in back. Again, these lamps are sort of, they stayed in front. We are looking a little bit at kind of these atmospheric effects. And then at the very end, we can sort of try to adjust a little bit colors, or so somehow now the colors of this building and the street, they're kind of a little bit more matched. This sky is not really successful yet, but yeah, maybe kind of going somewhere in that direction. And this fog is also a bit weird, but maybe a good sort of first, maybe it should be a bit more subtle. Let me actually try to quickly change that. Maybe here. Okay, maybe something like, no, actually, yeah, I have to go, sorry, under, apologies for this. I have to click on the fog. Okay, so I have to be on the mask layer. Okay, yeah, now it will be. Maybe I want, yeah, okay, maybe I want the top a little bit more to be there. Or maybe a bit more subtle. Okay. Okay, let's just leave it like this. That's it, actually. We are finished for today.